Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the Cardano family. Appreciate all the love that you guys show day in, day out. Let's analyze and take a look together to see what's happening with ADA and what we could be anticipating, going into this obviously upcoming week ahead of us. So looking across the board, once again, as far as the 24-hour time scale is concerned, we're seeing a retracement. We got a lot of interesting things going on within the markets, but over the last 1 hour to be specific, we're seeing, quite a bit of green across the market, which is nice to see. Of course, ADA up 1.1% over the course of the last 1 hour. But, we have seen major amounts of volatility over the past weekend for, Bitcoin, which of course has impacted the broader market with it. But if you're looking at ADA's price right now, 91.5 cents right now as of recording this update. And, we're up 1.5% in Bitcoin compared to holding really nicely over the weekend. And the 24-hour trading volume at 33.3 billion and the 24-hour trading volume at $2.2 billion. So as far as, the volume is concerned, the valuation, it is looking really good right now. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So I wanted to kind of talk about this first and foremost, and then we're going to kind of go over the price. But take a look at this. Hoskinson says Vitalik, will lose, if ADA flips Ethereum. The Cardano founder says ADA overtaking Ethereum would give Vitalik a brain shock. So he's not going to retire, he's going to drop over. So again, a big statement coming out from Charles Hoskinson. Me personally, I know you guys are probably going to be like Crypto ZX, why do you think ADA is not going to take over ETH? I just don't see that happening. Unfortunately, everyone has their own opinions, and I'm sharing my personal opinion with you guys. Obviously, he's a founder of ADA. He's not going to down talk his project, but we need to understand Ethereum. Yes, in terms of a blockchain aspect, I think Cardano, in terms of the blockchain aspect, is better. I think that. But with that being said, if you're looking at the demand factor, if you're looking at a project that's seen as a store of value, Ethereum is always going to be that over Cardano, in my opinion. I know not a lot of people want to hear this, but again, I'm sharing my personal thoughts. That doesn't mean that Cardano is not here to stay. That doesn't mean Cardano can't take, some of the market share. But, again, that's my opinion. I wanted to kind of talk about that. Do let me know in the comments if you guys agree or disagree with that. But a lot of interesting things happening. Dominance, once again, breaking towards the lower time frames. And we're setting ourselves up perfectly, going into the month of December because, I'm sorry, not the month of December, September. I can't believe I already, skipped all these months and, moved to December. But anyways, Dominance is setting itself up for, a perfect success. And this is bigger than a lot of people realize. You're seeing the Dominance continuing to drop. We're retesting again, levels we haven't seen since January of this year. And, if we see a rate cut, I think, we could actually retest the Dominance where it was back in December, believe it or not. That's how crazy this would be. And, what we saw late last year, I think we could replicate that again. Again, obviously, time is going to tell, but if you're looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is seeing major volatility, even though Bitcoin did see a wick down to $111,000. We did see Dominance actually going even lower, which is a good sign for altcoins. Continuing to tell you guys to keep an eye out on the Dominance index. But going back to what I said, if you watched my update last night on XRP and HBAR, I mentioned to you guys we're below $115,000. And, if we're below $115,000, I'm open for us to retest some of these levels and exactly look at this for yourself. We came down to this major liquidations, I'm sure, on the future side. And we're seeing a lot of volatility for Bitcoin right now. But on the bright side, you are looking at the Dominance continuing to pull back, which is a good sign for altcoins. If you're looking at XRP, even though Bitcoin price dropped, look at the way XRP, guys, I'm talking way too fast. I apologize. I meant ADA. You guys know, when I talk too fast, I can get overly excited. But if you're looking at ADA, it's holding really, really nicely right now against what's happening with the broader market. You pretty much are seeing ADA sitting at 92 cents right now. We actually wicked up to 96.4 cents. Yes, that's correct. Let me show you guys the hourly time frame for Cardano, and that will tell you everything you need to know. So you can see this for yourself. We actually wicked up to 96.5 cents, a level we haven't seen since August 17th. And I personally believe this wick is going to fill in. We're seeing nice positive momentum coming in for ADA. I think we're going to fill this wick in and start heading up to the major key resistance at $1, which we're having a hard time breaking out of, but the volume is starting to increase, which is giving me, more hope that, we do start this next leg up in the very near future, especially with the way dominance is moving right now. This is a great sign. Of course, you got to take it one step at a time. Obviously, external factors, sometimes news that we hear from the external sources, can actually have an impact on crypto space and the traditional market, and those are things that we don't have in control. But as of now, a great setup. We'll take it one step at a time. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. We'll see you later. Been Crypto ZX, and peace out.